Welcome to this episode of YouTube, where we have the first snow of the winter season. It actually came on late Thursday night into Friday, and you see here, obviously, the Arctic yearlings like snow, which is part of their age, part of their maybe subspecies, but the rest of the pack likes snow as well, and you can see everybody engaged in social play behavior, including Aiden. Aiden is up on the top of the den in this clip here. He has regained some confidence that he lost after that little bit of testing from Axel. He still is concerned when Bolts and Axel are behind him, and there's a little bit of whirling behavior, but for the most part, he's maintaining the pack order quite well. Denali here on top of the pump housing is probably going to be enjoying the last look at a pond. We'll be draining that this weekend. We rarely get open water in the pond and 6 inches of snow at the same time, so we thought we'd save it for the visitors this weekend and have a little bit of photographic background there. And we are seeing, obviously, a lot of changes in behaviors. Once you have snow, you have, obviously, things that are buried under the snow, but you also have, appears to be more wolf behavior keyed into tracking. Again, wolves have scent glands in their paws, and so when they're walking, they're kind of tracking and leaving scent. And so there seems to be, even though these animals live in captivity and they're with each other, they do seem to have a lot more investigative behavior, especially sniffing where other wolves have been. And this is Aiden kind of demonstrating that. And as we know with wolves, the young learn from the old. This is Grayson kind of doing the same thing and just kind of sniffing where Denali had walked and then where Aiden had walked, and really following those tracks to see where they went. And sometimes you get rewarded by following tracks, and this is Axel who found a deer hide under the snow, and that reward oftentimes can be something they maintain themselves, or they get the other pack members who want to come and take it from them. So usually when you find something, you need to be aware of where your pack mates are and be alert to their presence. And as always, the pack leader has a tendency to do as he wishes, and here's Aiden who managed to get the hide away from the yearlings and continues to consume it. So a lot of people say, well, why eat the hide? You know, the hair is non-digestible, it'll just come out in a scat like that. Well, there's a little bit of meat along with that hide, and you know, whether wolves have a cognitive recognition that eating hide helps them process meat and bone through their system or not, it's hard to say. I know when we watch wolves eat grass, it seems like they know what the outcome's going to be, and that helps them feel better, whether it helps them defecate or helps them regurgitate. That seems to be a reason why they eat grass. Eating hide, you know, might be the same kind of issue. So we are watching Bolts pretty closely. He is very quick to come up behind Aiden, show some posturing about Aiden, and I've really noticed his alertness has increased dramatically. So he's always on the backside, kind of always watching, but he's always there. Another thing that we're watching is, again, Axel's being a lot more alert to where Aiden is, and so we're watching how he responds to, again, if there's any intimidation by Aiden, which usually doesn't happen, but if Aiden shows any kind of weakness, Axel's alert to it, Bolts is alert to it, and that combination makes it a little bit more challenging, the fact that it's 2 wolves keyed in on the pack leader instead of just 1. So, like I said, Axel and Bolts, those 2 are spending a fair amount of time together, most of the time social, you know, not that they're plotting evil, it's just, you know, young animals looking for opportunities to move up in rank. That's a natural part of the order. So we're watching that, and what's interesting about this clip, as soon as Aiden comes over, Aiden gives a little bit of a side growl, a little bit of a posture, hackles go up, Bolts averts the gaze and walks away. So that tells me that Bolts is not quite there yet for confidence to be able to deal with Aiden. So things can influence wolves' confidence, and one of them is construction projects. As I mentioned last week, we had a Working for Wolves, lots of stuff going on, and we're continuing to wrap up on these projects to get the place winterized and get areas protected, and that stuff over your head, especially roof lines, can be real intimidating. Wolves don't really, they like to have the higher advantage point, not have the humans at the higher advantage point. So the exhibit pack didn't have a lot to deal with, but Grizzly sure did. Fortunately, we have a back habitat where the wolves can hang out while we're doing construction. this is the back habitat now with snow, and see, it's a good habitat for squirrels as well. Grizzly is apparently not very alert as to the activity of squirrels there. But he is moving around pretty good, and it seems like since it's gotten colder, his actual leg has gotten better as far as mobility. And so I think sometimes in a situation of inflammation, cold can help relieve any kind of pain. So that may be the effect. But here he is doing an RLU, and he's actually standing on that back right leg to do a raised leg urination. So that's a good sign. That means that he's got ability to weight bear on it, which you can see a little bit of a limp there as he walks away, but certainly much better than he's been in the past. It's that time of the year again where cover hay is starting to come into the exhibit. The exhibit pack got all their dens have cover hay, nothing on the outside yet, but for Luna and Grizzly, they're getting not only their inside dens, but also outside areas, so top of dens, front of the kind of open area, so that they can rest comfortably outside in any kind of weather. So the last thing that we have to do here is drain the ponds, and this is the kind of wading pool that's in the pack holding area. We, during the Working for Wolves, we drained the east side pond, and you can get a little bit of that protective view there in that vestibule that Working for Wolves crew did last time. You can see it's snow-free, so that's an amazing thing for us. But Luna was very quick to investigate the pond, and you know what's at the bottom of that pond. It will usually have some leaf buildup, a little bit of algae buildup, and we'll be sweeping that out to, again, get it ready for winter. So that's about it for what's going on here. So thanks for watching, and should be back on a weekly schedule now for YouTubes. See you next time.